my Z followers, and welcome back to the question where you have the questions and I have the answers. And today I'm going to actually be remaking a video. What I don't know if you noticed, I took down the newlywed questions with Ethan and the bisexual video because Ethan had texted me a week ago asking me to take him down because he didn't want his face on my channel anymore, which I respect. And in response, I say he wasn't that helpful in the bisexual video anyway. So, because he's low-key homophobic and very transphobic and just an all-around interesting person. So I'm going to be remaking the bisexual video with just myself, and hopefully it'll be less awkward, at least for me. I love talking about the LGBT community and enlightening others, so this will be fun. So I think the last one was why there's so few bisexuals, and the answer was there aren't. So those videos are going to be more about Bi-Erasure, which for those of you who don't know, it's sort of erasing bisexuals from sort of like history, existence, the media, or just denying that they exist, or making them seem like so few exist. And it's really harmful for people who are bi, because there's a lot of them, probably like there's a lot of people that aren't just gay or straight, but who fall into like the plus of the LGBT community that don't we don't sort of talk about a lot, and there's a lot of stigma around those parts because they're harder to explain than just being gay or straight. Because if you're straight, it's like, oh, you like so if you're a guy, you like girls. If you're a girl, you like guys. You know, that's easy. You can look at someone and be like, oh, that's a straight couple. You know, you can see on the streets. Or if someone's gay, you can be like, oh, you like the same gender as you. You know, that's like easy. If you're heterosexual, you like sort of the opposite gender. If you're gay, you like the same gender. You know, it's easy. You can look on someone in the streets and be like, oh, they're gay, or oh, they're straight because of like who they're with. You know, there's a whole thing about, oh, you can tell when someone's gay, which I'm not going to get into because that whole stereotype pisses me off. And yes, it's true for some people, but not everybody's super flamboyant. Okay, that's my like mini rant. I'll continue to rant in another video if you want to. Comment below if you want that rant. But it's harder with people who are bisexual or pansexual or so on and so forth, because you can't just like look at someone and be like, oh, they're bi, because what if someone's bi and they're if you see a girl with a guy and she's bi and she's with a guy, you could be like, oh, she's straight. Or you see that same girl with another girl, you'd be like, oh, she's gay. But you won't know she's bi because you can't look at someone and be like, they're bi. You know? And so most people would just be like, oh, it doesn't exist, you're one or the other, because that's all they see, that's all they care to see. And there has been a lot of infighting, you know, since the sort of discovery of that spectrum of gay to straight, you know, from like both sides, discrimination from both sides. Because people who are bisexual, at least mostly nowadays, the straight people will be like, oh, well, you're just trying to be cool, you know, being gay is like a fad, like it's a phase, you just want to be like popular, go with this crowd. And it's like, no, why would we willingly try and like get your scorn and your hate? You know, most of them we already do. That's a whole long thing. And then you have sort of more like back in the back in like the 50s or 60s, when this sort of arose and we had bisexuals, people in the gay community were just like, oh, well, you're just trying to you know, you're not trying to like commit and be on our side, you're trying to like go and sympathize with the straight people who've oppressed us. And it's like, no, people just can date whoever they want, they can love whoever they want, and there's no like scientific explanation for why someone is gay or why someone is straight. People just love who they love, and it's like we don't choose it. We just sort of wake up one day, we're just like, huh, gay. Well, I had a whole conversation with my new therapist. I got a new therapist, and it's interesting Because my first therapist, Laura, was just like so ready to accept, and she already knew a lot about the LGBT community. And Jessica is more like, I'm assuming I know a lot, but I don't know a lot. And it's kind of like awkward because I am pan romantic and asexual, and that's part of the LGBT community. So when I say gay, I use it as like an umbrella to overlook the LGBT community, and I feel like a lot of people do, because as long as like I explained this to my dad too, that like people say gay, they could be bi, pan, or just homosexual. It's anything like but straight, you know? And so, cause she was like, "Well, why do you feel like doesn't this person like you?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, my friends are gay and I'm gay." And she's like, "You said you're gay," and I said, "Yes." And she was like, "But you're pan," and I'm like, "Yes." And she was, "Does that count as gay?" And I'm like, I think it does, and everybody I've talked to thinks it does, but some people might think it's not, and that's on them. It's all one of those like, what do you want to consider it? Either way, it's like I'm not straight, so really, it's a hard, complicated topic by erasure because also language is limiting. It's the psychological, social aspect is limiting, but also language. Because if anything, like because it says like it's easier to say, "Oh, I'm gay," than "Oh, I'm bi." Because if you say I'm bi, you have to have this whole long conversation about, "Oh, I like girls and guys," or like this, or if you're pans, like I like girls, guys, and I don't discriminate just on personality, so forth. And it's like whatever you are, it gets more and more complicated to talk about it if you don't just say I'm gay. So that's another reason why, because it's easier just to say I'm gay. And people, it's easier just to assume that either you're gay or straight, and they don't ask questions. So yeah, but also because they did a lot of studies once again in like the 50s and 60s when it started to try and see like if being bisexual is actually a thing, and those studies were actually really shady, and so a lot of them were just like, oh, it's like it's situational, like the oh, it's a phase, or oh, it's just because people are horny and they're put in with like same-sex couples. And so they did released a lot of stuff because they wanted to hurt the LGBT community, and so they're like, oh yeah, being bisexual isn't a thing. And so a lot of scientists tried to cover it up, and the guy who was like, actually, love and whatever sexuality could be a spectrum, from gay to straight, and they're like, haha, you're an idiot. And this whole like policy of American misinformation that we just sort of try and hide the truth from everybody, and it's fun. You have a fun time here. So like that's the fun thing with bisexual erasure. And another thing, just a side tangent, was talking about like gay culture and whether there is gay culture and whether there isn't. And one person said and because I know some people who would just solidly say yes, and one person who would I know a lot of people who would solidly say no. And I think that gay as a culture isn't a thing, but there are definitely some things that we've sort of adopted as like our own. It's like we took those sort of bad stereotypes and made them our own, which is kind of a culture. It's like we're not a definite culture because, as one pointed out, we don't do the exact like everybody around the world doesn't do the exact same things, and all we're looking at is from like an American or like European perspective, which I get, but also there's a lot of like things that we do have in common, like a lot of sort of similar experiences, or just like as a joke or as a meme, like the whole bisexual finger guns or thumbs up or tucking your shirt in or like the eyebrow slit and whatever. Those are like really bad stereotypes that we kind of just sort of made our own, which I wouldn't say is gay culture, but I would say it's definitely something that we try and adopt sort of as like at least a thing that we do. So that's my answer of why there is bi-erasure, and I hope that all of you bisexuals, pansexuals, sort of like more invisible people in the LGBT community are doing absolutely amazing. I hope that you guys aren't going stir crazy in this quarantine period. And this has been uh, Acceptance 101. Hashtag with me. I don't know. I had a whole email from YouTube being like, if you want more popular videos, use hashtag with me. So I'm gonna think of like a cool title. and maybe I'll get more viewers other than just like the same 20 people. That'll be nice. So yeah, spread the word about Bi-Erasure because it's real, it's prevalent, and it's less prevalent nowadays, but it's still really bad. And we just need to love and accept everyone for who they are. And if you don't understand it, ask questions. And if you still don't understand it, then don't use you not understanding something for a reason not to accept them. Because even before you knew that they were like gay or bi or trans or ace, they were the same. They are the same people that you knew before you knew that about them. They didn't change. They just suddenly become like this devil worshipping, satanic, ritual inducing, baby sacrificing person overnight. You know, like in a blink of an eye. You know, like if you have happy memories with this person and they come out to you, they aren't just suddenly a new person, that same person, but now they're opening up to you, and you should accept that because that's the nice and polite thing to do because they're your friend or their family or whatever. What I'm saying is respect people. Respect people who give you respect, accept people who accept you, and just accept people who don't accept you because it's always nice to be the better person, and sometimes it sucks to be the better person, but it sucks because you can handle that. You know, you're stronger, and if you're gonna be the better person, then it's gonna be worth it in the end. It's gonna suck for a bit, but it's gonna be worth it in the end. I promise. Have a great start of the week. For all those people in Washington who are technically starting school again next week, good luck. I love all of you, no matter what you identify as. As long as you're not a pedophile, rapist, once again, it's a whole long thing. We don't support those people. So I love all of you. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.